Freeze rallies the Cards. Good evening, everyone. For WVUT Sports, I'm Jesse Gwynn. The St. Louis Cardinals forced a decisive fifth game in their National League Division Series, with Philadelphia knocking off the Phillies 5-3 in Game 4. St. Louis started drove in a run as a triple homer and scored on Hunter Pence's single to give Philadelphia a 2-0 lead. But the Cards would rally thanks to David Freese. In the fourth, Freese doubled in a couple of runs to give St. Louis the lead. A couple of innings later, he belted a 2-run shot, making it a 4 RBI night for the third baseman.
Ever since I got traded over from San Diego, I always just thought about the postseason, the playoffs, and being a Cardinal in the postseason. That's what this is all about. This is what you work for, and just to do this in front of the fans of St. Louis and a bunch of friends and family, it's amazing.
Now it's back to Philadelphia for Game 5 on Friday night. Roy Halladay, who won the opener for the Phillies, will face St. Louis ace Chris Carpenter. They were teammates in Toronto for 5 years. Counted out by most everyone else, the Arizona Diamondbacks are in position to complete another comeback, and this one could be the greatest of the bunch. Ryan Roberts hit a grand slam. Chris Young had the first 2-homer game in Arizona's postseason history as the Diamondbacks beat the Milwaukee Brewers 10-6 Wednesday night to force Game 5 in the NL Division Series. A day after rolling the Brewers 8-1, the Diamondbacks struck quickly and often in Game 4, scoring 5 runs in the first inning off Randy Wolf. Young said afterwards, it's a brand new series.
So we have to forget about, what we did when we were there, but I think, take only the good things from this homestand, try to take that momentum with us and hope that they remember it as well. And if we're able to jump on Gallardo early, I think it'll make a big difference.
The decisive Game 5 is Friday in Milwaukee. The home team has won every game in the series so far. The Tigers and Yankees square off tonight in the Big Apple to decide who advances to the AL Championship Series. Detroit will send Doug Fister to the mound while New York counters with Ivan Nova. Nova led in Major League rookies in wins with a 16-4 record and 3.7 ERA. In his postseason debut, he took over from CC Sabathia in the completion of Game 1 and pitched a shutout ball until the 9th inning of the Yankees' 9-3 win. Fister gave up 6 runs and 7 hits in 4 2/3 innings after replacing Justin Verlander in the opener. He went 8-1 down the stretch for the Tigers after coming over in trade with Seattle. While Yankees are trying to reach the AL Championship for the 3rd straight year, the Tigers want to get back for the first time since 2006 when they won the pennant but lost in the World Series. San Antonio Spurs guard Tony Parker is headed to Europe to play during the NBA lockout. The all-star point guard will play for a team in southeast France. He is slated to make just under $2,000 a month. Parker, who is from France and is president of basketball operations for the team, is expected to make his debut October 14th. Tiger Woods has a new endorsement deal with Rolex. The Swiss-based watchmaker says they are paying tribute to the exceptional statue of Woods and the leading role he plays in forging sports global appeal. The deal is his first major deal since marital problems in late 2009. Woods is returning to the PGA Tour today at the Fries.com Open. He has not played since he missed the cut at the PGA Championship in August. A 6th grade Arkansas football player is so good he's no longer allowed to score if his team is winning. It is called the Madre Hill Rule, named after a former Arkansas Razorback. The rule's namesake paid a visit to the field to see the prodigy in action. Josh Rosenthal has the story.
This is one of 11-year-old Demias Jimerson's 3 non-passing touchdowns against the Cowboys. He scored the last one in the 4th quarter of the game. Then the officials banned him from scoring anymore because his team led by more than 14 points. It's called the Madre Hill Rule, and the league tackled Jimerson with it because they want to give the other 5th and 6th graders on the field a chance to develop as players too.
I try to fight through it hard, let other people score, not just me. My whole team is doing the same. same thing.
Jimerson plays in Malvern at the same school Razorback great Madre Hill did. Hill came back to his old stomping grounds to watch Demias and, of course, give him some advice, too.
He said, keep on working hard, but make sure God always comes first.
24 years after the Wilson Intermediate Football League limited Hill's touchdowns, he calls it a good idea. Did the Madre Hill rule limit your development as a football player at all?
No, it did not. Looking back over my career, it was a learning experience that was great.
And Hill expects another young football player on this field to get the Madre Hill treatment in about 2 years. That player is his 9-year-old son.
My mom and dad is still here, and I truly believe my mom would want to see him in any other uniform but a leopard.
Even after Jimerson has scored 3 touchdowns, Evan, he's still allowed to stay on the field. He normally plays quarterback.
I think scoring lots of problem that a lot of players would love to have. Thanks, Jesse. Many people are beginning to pick out their Halloween costumes. Coming up next, take a look at a couple costumes you may want to pass. Stay with us.
Who is Bob Stern?
Who is Bob Stern? Well,
He's intelligent, witty, bit of a rascal.
Once in a lifetime character.
Architect Robert Stern has built an ever-expanding empire.
I tried to turn fantasy into reality.
I'm Robert Stern.
Jeffrey Baer opens a glimpse into the career and mind of architect Robert Stern.
Architects have been charged with building the American dream.
Presence of the past.
In June 1812, the young United States declared war on the greatest power in the world, Great Britain. Americans fought the British, Canadian colonists, and native nations in a bitter conflict that lasted 2.5 years.
The War of 1812 is a tiny war by world standards, and yet it forges the destiny of a continent for 200 years to come.
This Halloween could be a tough one for former Congressman Anthony Weiner. Jeannie Mose explains.
You may not recognize him in latex, but here's a hint.
Are you sexting?
To think that the year's hottest scandal, Weinergate, was a mere 5 months ago. It's amazing how fast Anthony Weiner fell.
Yeah.
Last Halloween, he was an up-and-coming star of the Democratic Party, and this Halloween, he's like a mask. Remember the headlines as Weiner finally confessed to sending lewd photos and messages to women he met online.
You would know if this is your underpants, for example.
The question is, I appreciate you continuing to flash that at me.
And speaking of underwear, are you recommending these two go together?
Oh, absolutely.
Ricky's in Manhattan is selling the $25 mask with accessories, a $20 pair of boxers that comes, let's just say, overly well endowed. Sure, there are plenty of other Halloween options. Charlie Sheen masks are expected to be big, though this one is special. Hyperflesh it's called. It takes a week to make one.
I'm gonna be a winner.
Artist Landon Meyer charges $2,500 a mask. He gave one to Charlie Sheen in exchange for tickets to Charlie's roast. You can even buy a Casey Anthony mask online, though they're considered in such bad taste that major mask companies steer clear. But if you decide to dress up...
This was a very dumb thing to do.
As this disgraced politician, better bring some ID. Who am I?
Looks like Richard Nixon.
Supposed to be Reagan? I don't know. No. Kennedy?
No.
Jay Leno?
Romney. You look a little Romney-esque.
Does this help?
No. Oh, I know. Ed Sullivan.
Who am I?
Oh, Weiner.
Bingo! You got it! Hey, if it's this hard to guess, maybe Anthony Weiner should consider wearing his own mask if he wants to go incognito. Jeannie Mose, CNN. I am not a pervert. New York. I am not.
And that's all for this evening. For Ethan Quarterman and Jesse Gwynn, I'm Evan Nunn. Good night.
This is WVUT Vincennes. Welcome to our program tonight, Dr. Jim Young Kim, president of Dartmouth College.
We have kind of lived in a world in which we thought that if we do great science and put great science and great technology in the hands of trustworthy individuals, you're done. The rest of the system will take care of itself. When in fact, taking great technology and making sure that you deliver it to the people, and also you do things like prevention, you help people be healthier overall. That's one of the most complicated tasks that we can imagine, and we haven't taken it seriously. Not a single medical school that I know of teaches about that delivery piece. Everything from how you organize a hospital to how you ensure that prevention and public health is part of what you do from a hospital setting. These things are not studied and taught.
And Jeffrey Sachs of Columbia University, the author of The Price of Civilization, Reawakening American Virtue and Prosperity.
My favorite